Good morning, friends. We're in Ephesians chapter 3. I hope that you had the opportunity to listen to Ashrita share what she dug out of this beautiful chapter of Paul's letter yesterday. And given that we have an extra week to spend on chapter 3 and maybe review a little bit chapters 1 through 3, I thought it might be just helpful to talk a little bit about how do we study words. Ashrita expressed, hey, I'm a word girl. And some of you may be wondering, hey, how did she dig all of that out of the verses? So I thought we'd talk about that just briefly. She mentioned using a dictionary, and an English dictionary is so helpful. But I want to let you know, show you a tool that is even more helpful. And this is a very old Strongs Concordance. And what this does is it's like a great big dictionary of the words in both Hebrew for the Old Testament and then Greek for the New Testament. So for Ephesians, we'd be reading, or we'd want to know, okay, what did that word mean back in Paul's day in the Greek? And it's always fun. I always learn something about words when I look it up in the concordance. So this is the old way of doing it, and then I'll very briefly show you how you can do this online. It's a lot easier. I'm going to try to move my camera down. Again, I really need to get a new tripod. That might work. Okay, so Ephesians chapter 3, a couple of words that Ashrita pulled out were rooted and grounded. So I'm going to show rooted is here in the concordance, and we see it set up sort of like a dictionary. Rooms, that's the first word on this page, ruin. So rooted is in here somewhere. And if we go down, here it is, rooted. And we see Ephesians, it's found in a number of verses, but Ephesians 3:17. So if we go over, we can see it gives us this little number, 4492. And that tells us we can go back to the back of the concordance into the Greek part and find 44, the number 4492. So 4492 is over here. Here we go. Okay, I am not a Greek scholar. I'm still dreaming about being a Greek scholar. Here we go. Rhizou, I'm not sure how to say the Greek, but it says to root, okay? And it gives a little bit of a more definition, become stable. So rooted, meaning to become stable, root. And we can do the same thing. I also looked up the word ground. Grounded is back here. Grounded. Here we go. It's found. The word grounded is found 3 times in the Bible. This would be in the King James Version. And here we see Ephesians 3:17, being rooted and grounded in love. Yep, that's the verse we're talking about. So it gives us this little number here, 23:11. And we go back to the back of the book, again into the Greek dictionary of the New Testament. And we said that was 23:11, right? Yes, here it is, 23:11. And the definition would be to lay a basis for. Literally, it means to erect, figuratively, to consolidate or lay the foundation. It means to ground, settle. There's a word that Ashrita, that spoke to Ashrita's heart yesterday. So that's where we can dig out a little bit more meaning in the original language. Now, friends, there's a lot easier way. I love this old book. It is big. You can see how it compares to my Bible. Not easy to travel with or take around with us. And we are so fortunate to live in this day and age where we can find or access the same tools online. So I want to show you, here's a website. There are several websites, but I'm going to show you today. I hope this is okay and somewhat clear on the camera. This is the Blue Letter Bible. And we can do the very same thing that we just did using the concordance, only we type in, let's say we're in Ephesians 3. So I'll type this in at it where there's a box that just says search the Bible. And we'll give it a minute. There, Ephesians 3 pops up, and you'll see how much easier this is than using the big book. We were in Ephesians 3:17, that Christ may dwell in your hearts by faith, that ye being rooted and grounded in love. So this is the King James Version. Over here, you'll see, do you see this little tab? It says Tools. So you can click on that and look what pops up. If you could read Greek, the Greek pops up here. And let's go down. That you being rooted and grounded. Do you see this? Here it gives us that same number we just looked up in our big book, 4492. You can actually click on that number and it will show you, it will give you the Greek translation. It will tell you how to pronounce it. You can even listen to the pronunciation. And you can come down here and it gives you an outline of how the Bible uses that particular Greek word. And it also gives you the Strong's definition right here. We'll see. To root, to become stable. All right. And now here's some of the usage. It will give you a little bit more. To cause to strike root, to strengthen with roots, to render firm, to fix, establish. It's to cause a person or thing to be thoroughly grounded and maybe to become stable. If we go all the way down, you'll see it also provides some cross references with which we've talked a little bit about. Colossians 2:7, we find that very same word, rooted, and that is the same Greek word. So it says, rooted and built up in him and established in the faith as ye have been taught, abounding therein with thanksgiving. If we wanted to, we could look that up in the ESV or NIV, whatever translation that we wanted to. So friends, that is how you can dig a little bit further into words, and it's fun. It really can highlight some I don't know, I guess maybe give some special highlights or nuances to Scripture. If we think about, let's just think about for a common verse, for God so loved the world, we could put the emphasis on any word of that verse. For God so loved the world. What does it mean? For what? We might understand, what does that for mean? For God so loved the world. Put the emphasis on God, so we might want to look up more information on God. What word for God is used in that particular verse? For God so loved the world. How did God love the world? He so loved the world. For God so loved the world. And we might want to dig into, okay, what is that love? What kind of love was John referring to when he wrote, for God so loved the world? Or Jesus said, for God so loved the world. Ladies, I hope that maybe just gives you a quick little tutorial on how to look up words and find out what words mean in the original language. You could go crazy with this. You could study the Greek all day long, but maybe just take one or two and give it a try, practice it, find a couple of words in Ephesians chapter 3 that you'd like to know. And you know what? Comment on this. We'd love to hear, what did you find out about a particular word? Share like Ashrita did. It could just be a couple sentences on what you learned. And because we all learn from it. None of us has time to dig into every single word of the verse. It's helpful when we share together and do this in community. Thanks, friends. Enjoy your study. Bye.